Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Star Trek Pathos, Season 1, Episode 12, Part 2. Neath the Shale stirs. With me here are some very special guests, namely the players. Say hello, players. Or whatever you want to introduce yourselves as.
Hello, players. Yes, greetings. Livestream is, right. So
That about covers everything. Now that it's
introductions. Yes, we should do those properly.
Yep, we have established that the live stream is and we can all go home now. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we are all home.
Yeah, well, chat can go home now. Oh, well, they are home as well.
Hello.
So probably. I don't know.
Liza, Catherine, the infamous storyteller, Roomsbath, welcome.
Ah, yes.
Good to have you all. So, would you like to introduce yourselves and your characters, please?
Sure, why not? Hello, I'm CangoFango, and I play the Human Communications Officer on the USS Pathos by the name of Doviah, Drenlich, Twossock.
Hello, I am Dodrebur, or Dodd, and I play Captain Shiun of the USS Pathos, who is a Vulcan.
I am Sir Rogue. I play Nero, the flight controller.
Okay.
Great.
So, would anyone like to do the recap, or should I?
DM, because I have no clue what I'm doing. I've forgotten.
Right, sure.
Not sure if I get everything right. Sure. Okay.
Why do I have... Anyway, that's fine. Sorry, I updated the OS and everything's just a bit weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, so... if during the stream I'm just completely distracted by something, that's probably it. But anyway, so last time so over the course of the last few months, you'd been heading coreward, so towards the galactic core, along the Romulan neutral zone. Previous episode, you've gone past the end of the actual neutral zone, where the border then starts. And this time around, you've actually exited Federation space and are in space that is classified as uncharted or unexplored, which doesn't mean that you don't necessarily know what's there, because deep space telescopes exist, but no one's actually studied or explored it. One of these deep space sensor arrays has discovered that a moon has in this area has quite a strange atmosphere, a bit too dense for the moon's mass, and you've been tasked to investigate. Upon investigating, you discovered that a few points of interest. One is that there's a Romulan small craft landed there, and one Romulan life sign. Other than that, the surface of the moon shows no other life signs. The other strange bit is that a significant part of the atmosphere, by significant I mean relatively significant, relative to other standards of this sort of atmosphere, is that a significant part of the atmosphere is methane, which, as Dodd had already noted, is usually a sign of organic life, that methane is produced during the digestion process. Sorry about bumping the mic. And you've not discovered any life here other than the Romulan, yet. Going down to investigate, you found the Romulan asleep, barricaded in a cave, and managed to steal a disruptor pistol from him, as well as a dagger, and managed to knock him out before anything could get worse. Scanning over, he had some light injuries, signs of prolonged stress, nothing major than that. An extensive scan was conducted, and another shuttle had been ordered down to collect him and also to send additional security to your area. Meanwhile, on the ship, they were on yellow alert, shields up. Yes, how is my mini plant clone? Good question. That's not canon yet, by the way.
That's for next season.
What? No. I thought it was canon for sure.
There'll probably be a reference to it in the sequel, which then will prompt the prequel to include it as a main character, which will then retroactively make it canon for this as well, but we'll deal with that later.
Yes.
It's canon now. Done.
So, keep with the shields up, because there was a concern that there might be a cloaked Romulan vessel in the area, considering that the small craft likely does not have interstellar capabilities. You've not discovered anything yet, or at least you've not been notified of any discoveries, so let's assume that there hasn't been anything discovered yet to be worth notifying you of. And we last left off with you exploring deeper into the cave, past some water. As you're getting further down, it gets more and more wetter. Not the insect, but the actual wetness of it.
Yeah.
And found these dense pockets of gas in the rock around you, as well as a large body of water beneath you, quite a ways beneath you. You explored for several hours, and just wanted to turn back when a tremor hit.
Earthquake.
And yes. I believe that is where we last left off, and that is everything that is worth pointing out, unless I have forgotten something.
I think that covers pretty much everything.
Sounds like everything is. Yeah.
Okay, so let's continue. At that point, we've got 3 momentum left over from last time, because we're just continuing from where we last left off. And we've got 237 probes. So, you're in the cave, there's just been a tremor, and I believe you wanted to get out.
Head back. Yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
So,
we lost contact with anyone,
Mm-hmm.
so deemed it safer to reconnect and come back with a team more prepared for these particular circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we should bring Lamia along. She's quite interested in jumping around caves, if I remember. Anyway.
Would fit with the era as well, actually.
So, don't worry if you don't get that joke. Don't worry.
You won't get that joke.
I don't think this needs to become the prequel to Lanya's joining the other campaign.
Although it might be fun if the character did somewhere perhaps appear. That might be fun.
And I'd have to play 2 characters again.
Unless the
I've already
captain's
done
on
that
vacation.
this campaign.
Yeah, I've been done. Done, dusted.
But yeah.
More.
So. You manage to effortlessly retrace your steps, because not only have you mapped with the tricorders, but you've also marked in little burn marks into the rock with your phasers. You get to a point where part of the tunnel is collapsed. Now, as a reminder, this is pretty much a maze of a network of interconnecting tunnels, caverns. So there could very well be a way around this blockage, or you might be able to do something else. But part of it has collapsed.
I'm pretty sure we can do a quick tricorder scan just to establish how severe the collapse is? Like, how much would we actually need to get through?
It looks like, so a quick scan reveals that it looks like about maybe 5-6 meters of the tunnel have collapsed in. It doesn't look like there's any substantial weight bearing on the collapsed area. So if the rubble could be cleared, it's probably safe to do so. And since you're scanning, you've already spent quite a while now getting back to this point. You also discover a set of 4 life forms on the other side, and they appear to be human.
Probably the rest of the crew, probably. Or the landing
The rest
party.
of the crew.
Landing party.
Yeah, we've only got 4 left. Sorry.
No,
Right.
no, the landing party.
If our backup that we requested was indeed there,
Yeah.
would we be able to just pick up their communicator signals?
And we
Mhm.
can't do that, can we?
What?
Can we pick up their communicator signals? Or is it
Yeah,
just the life sign?
if you look for that, yes, they do
It's
as
them.
having communicators
Okay.
on them.
Okay.
Right.
Federation ones.
Just wanted to,
nonetheless.
just throw away that
Possibility.
minor air of mystery. Like, there's no mystery here. We know who's there.
Sure.
Great.
No, so we just say.
Okay, so it's them. Okay.
Can't we just go to anyone? Do to like try and communicate with, like, say Nero to like anyone?
Yeah, if you want to use your
At this
communicator.
distance, we should be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that what you
I'll
want
do
to do, Rogue? You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Open up communicator. You turn the little dial and manage to get through. So you hear a voice saying,
Yay! Got through.
"This is the security detachment. Are you all right? Do you have injured? We registered seismic activity."
I think we're good with injuries.
We are currently unharmed.
Yes, but a part of the cave has collapsed.
Yes, we're on the other side.
Right.
We've already set our phasers for the proper setting. If you take some space back, we'll start excavating.
Hold
I
fire.
turn to the captain. Okay. Move back.
Quick engineering.
I have several concerns. There are no signs of life at present. However, it is unlikely that the Romulan we found before came here alone. And the fact that we found no signs of any other Romulans on the surface indicates that something most likely happened beneath the surface, where our scans couldn't quite penetrate. There may be dangers in here that simply removing the rubble from the tunnel might not be the best course of action.
Right? They're standing by. In awaiting
Have a
orders in that
quick-
case.
Quick look at the rubble and the structure of the collapses and stuff. Is that
You want to have a look at what, sorry?
the structure of the collapse? See if we move anything, is it gonna go?
Well,
I mean, that's not really the problem. The problem is that we would need to then manually remove 5 to 6 meters of collapsed rock.
well, the phasers can disintegrate it.
Yes, but as said previously, there are concerns.
Oh, there are always concerns.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this is a more... I can't think of the right word for it, but
Pressing issue.
a more likely scenario than some
Yeah.
other concerns might be.
Yes. Also, would it even be safe to use phasers with this atmosphere?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So should we look for another way, perhaps? Past.
Yeah, we
this?
We should be able to get a decent enough scan of the nearby tunnels.
Okay.
See if anything connects to... See if any tunnels connect to the other side that we're trying to get to, and see if there are any corresponding tunnel entrances in the area we are in.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Sure.
that's going to be a roll. I will allow 1 assist. Do you want the... actually, it was only... Did the science... Actually, no, you had medical with you, not science, right? And they stayed with it, so it's only you three.
Yeah. Yes. So what role would that be?
Well,
The
it's going to
scan?
be science
Oh, yeah,
plus
science.
reason, and it will allow 1 assist.
So
The difficulty for this I'm going to set to 2, simply because of you're in rock, which has already been demonstrated to be quite dense.
Makes sense.
So that's difficulty 2.
so
That's
combine.
14 for me.
Then I'd say you lead because mine is 11.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go with that.
All right.
What were you rolling?
Science and reason.
Yes.
Yeah, don't even try. So I am out.
And the survival focus wouldn't apply. That's fine. Sure.
Okay.
Purchasing dice. Dice.
Difficulty?
Yeah.
Difficulty 2, like I said.
Complication range 1.
1, yes.
So we've got 1 momentum, right? Still.
3. We've got 3.
So we could buy 2 dice if you want to. But we could 1 perhaps, or just 0.
1 die, max. We have an assist,
Yeah, but
and it's difficulty 2.
yeah. So should we buy 1 or not?
If by 1 you mean by 1, then we can buy 1.
Maybe. I mean, it seems important.
Oh,
Let's just get 1.
Okay, great.
Okay. Congratulations. Your purchase shall arrive within the next 5 to 6 working days.
Working seconds, more like, but sure.
Ooh, good thing.
That was a 19.
And
18 and 19.
Oh.
Resist.
Failures.
Ah,
Well, I thought
Alright.
2 was still good.
okay.
Ah.
right.
So, got 2 momentum.
My rolls are ridiculous.
Both of our rolls are
Well.
ridiculous. I just want to see how spectacularly I can fail.
So, using your tricorders to kind of move into different places along the tunnel to kind of merge your scan data to get a bit more detail further away. You do manage to find a passage that looks like it loops back around, but there is a substantial vertical part of it that would need to be climbed up, of course. And by substantial, I mean like it about maybe a 12-meter climb.
Well, we could try that. I mean, we are trained Starfleet officers, so shouldn't be an issue.
We did specifically bring climbing gear.
Yeah,
Yes.
you did.
Mhm.
That's a good point. So yeah,
it's
time
like
to
the
time to
place
put
I
that
was carrying.
to good use then. I suppose. We probably let the
think I
others know.
believed that I was.
No, don't tell them. Let's sneak up behind
And-
them.
Just climb.
We can inform the security that
Yes.
we are going to attempt this route, so that if intervention is needed, they will be there.
Good.
Yes. That's
So-
good.
They acknowledge, and you make your way through the rough, rocky caverns up to that place. Looking up, yeah, there's some water dripping down from up there. So, I'm going to need all three of you to give me a security plus fitness check. I'm going to set the difficulty to 2 and the complication range down to 1 because of your climbing gear.
Okay, again, we could buy a die. For my score is 12. Security plus fitness. So, not sure which one would be better.
Right. Do any of us have a sufficient score to feel confident
Also-
in this?
Also, if any of you make it up, and then if any of you make it up, I will allow you to reduce the difficulty for those who are at the bottom if you, for example, do things like let down a rope from the top or do things like that. So if any one of you does make it up, you can make it easier.
That's what security's there for.
Yeah, but you didn't specifically.
To help us all up.
But you didn't specifically tell
We
them.
could
to do
ring
that.
them up again. Say
We
"Please
haven't rolled anything
throw a
yet.
rope down.
We haven't made an attempt. But I did intend for the security to be waiting for us at the top and help us get up.
Okay, if that was the intent, then sure.
Unless you just thought I invited them along
No.
to stare at us while we climbed.
No, it wasn't. So okay, then it's difficulty 1 in that case.
Okay, so let's not buy dice. So what's your score, Dodd, for fitness and security?
11.
Okay, then can I lead then? Mine's 1 more.
Sure, good.
Alright, that's 2 dice. The survival... Does the survival focus apply? Maybe?
Sure.
Great. Okay, sure.
Getting around rough terrain, why not?
Alright. That's 2.
Alright.
Okay, so that's 1 momentum generate. We're back up to 3.
Nice.
Right.
Considering I'm already rolling in the high teens, I might like to buy 1 die.
Okay, for what is this? Is this
Climb.
the... Oh yeah, of course.
Climbing.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not assisting this time. Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
We did get 1 momentum, so... Yeah, if you want to
Okay.
buy a die, go right ahead.
It makes me nervous. I'd rather not be nervous. So.
Makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Ah. Lovely.
So we're at 4.
Well, there we go.
10, 10, 5.
Just to make it interesting.
Ah, right.
You're gonna buy one with threat?
No, it was in a roll.
Ew.
Oh, do you mean not that interesting?
There you go. I got 1 in it. Oh, I got 1.
Right.
Huh. Okay,
Nice.
so
Wow. 17 and 3.
you successfully make it up. Your uniform's slightly wet from the dripping water. So, you're now up. You can safely exit, should you wish to do so.
I cast prestidigitation. Oh, right, no. Wrong thing. Yeah, I'd say we exit. Not much point staying around at this stage. I mean, that's
Yes.
what we wanted
Okay.
to do in the first place.
So, right,
Getting out.
you
Yes.
get out of the cavern, and it has been several hours at this point since you entered the cavern in the first place. So as you reach the exit, what would you like to do? You can see the ginormous purple gas giant in the sky looking out of the cavern.
Mm-hmm. So everything's cast in this purple light.
No, there's a little. The shadows are slightly purple because of the planet
right.
shine, but the sun isn't purple. Neither is the star. So what do you want to do?
Okay. I'm not sure if a further plan was specified.
So we need to get more information from the Romulan who we put in an unconscious state. And we still haven't checked out the Romulan ship.
Shall we go and check the Romulan ship next?
Well, we have the three of us plus a security detachment, so
Sounds good.
it's like a good time to do so.
That sounds like a plan. Okay, so sure, let's go and investigate the Romulan small craft. Yeah.
Right. So you make your way up 2 miles through these canyons and crevices. This very grey rock.
Hold on
Who's
for a
going?
second.
Okay, sure.
So, security detachment would have also come here in a shuttle.
Yes, they have.
So
do you wanna take
there's
the
a
shuttle?
shuttle close to the caves and a shuttle halfway between here and the other place. So I think we should take their shuttle there. So no one has to walk 2 miles back.
Oh, but you can't
get this
discover
shuttle.
anything interesting if you're just skipping it. Anyway.
We'll miss the entire tavern scene.
Sometimes that's the point.
Yes, very true. Very,
Okay,
very
sure,
true.
let's take their shuttle.
And they
Let's
can
also-
walk.
Let's also...
Yeah,
It's
please
fine.
walk, okay.
It's fine.
So you take the shuttle. Fine.
Yes.
Take the shuttle.
Does it have a
Do
name?
you want to stop halfway to pick up your shuttle as well?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay.
Right now.
Stop halfway.
Engage
Pick
tractor
up
beams.
your
No.
shuttle. A quick inspection reveals that nothing about it has changed. It is just in the exact state that you left it in. And
I unlock it. Beep, beep.
Yep.
And then I go fly it.
Okay. So, these 2 shuttles fly over, and as you're coming across this ridge, you can see in this kind of little valley surrounded by cliffs the Romulan small craft. Basically, it looks like a sort of a vague triangular shape with 3 landing legs, one at each point, and it's a bit bulkier in the rear, and it looks like it's got a door on the rear or something like that. There's some equipment around some of the place around it that, as you're approaching, looks like it has been knocked over, but it just looks a little odd. As you're getting close to land, you see it looks like parts of it have been dissolved or melted in some way. So you land.
Strange.
Would you like to do anything before you exit the shuttles?
Yes. Is there any substance that would reasonably cause these things to melt or dissolve in the area?
Well, do you want to use the shuttle sensors?
Yes,
not that they're probably going to be much help, but so difficulty 1.
No, we open
Complication-
the window and use our tricorders.
Difficulty 1, complication range 1.
Okay, so is the
And
shuttle assisting?
the shuttle will
Is
assist.
the
It's going to be
oh, yeah.
science plus reason. Or
Okay,
science plus
I'll do
insight.
it then.
Okay.
Reason's fine. One.
1. Okay. I'm trying to find the shuttle stats. One moment. One moment.
I assume I'm just gonna fly. You have a shuttle. I can't do it both at the same time, so I'm just gonna fly. And plus it's like 10, so I think I'll pass.
Hold on, I can't. One moment, I need to find. I think I put it in the snippets. Ah, there we go. Shuttlecraft. Okay. So, this is a 5. So, who would like to roll for the shuttle?
Nope.
I
Going
already rolled
once.
for the roll.
What?
That I already rolled for the roll. Not
All
rolling
right.
for the shuttle too.
All right, then sure. I can roll. So what's the roll? So sensor plus science?
No, just roll one. Just roll 1d20.
Just
Your
straight up.
target is 5.
Okay. That's fine. Here
No,
we
not
go.
fine. 5.
Yeah.
And plus I'm in the
I know
shuttle.
Tess uses
Yep.
Pathos. It's the shuttle.
Okay.
It doesn't have
So
a separate
one
thing.
success. That's all you needed.
Okay.
Using the shuttle's sensors. There is no sort of abnormal substance in the area. It looks like this was probably done through heat.
What time of day is it? Oh wait, then I'm in the other shuttle.
Huh. How warm is it
But
at the
still.
moment?
It is reasonably warm,
Could we?
and it is currently about midday-ish.
Right. So have we scanned the moon's orbital path or something to see where it would be closest to the gas giant?
The orbital path is pretty circular, so
Right.
yeah, there is, of course, there's a tiny little bit of variance there, but it's negligible.
So there wouldn't be a point where it feasibly would be that hot that it would melt these things.
Why would it be that hot?
That's what I'm asking. I'm not
If it
sure.
was hot enough to melt or dissolve parts of these things, it would be hot enough to melt or
Yeah, the
dissolve
shuttle.
most of these
Yeah.
things.
Trust
That is
me,
true,
I've seen
yeah.
enough sci-fi films to know,
Yeah.
action ones to know that
Mhm.
yes, it is possible.
But not in a targeted way.
Sure.
That one's over there.
Unless there's a cloaked lens laser beam. But what are the
If
chances
there-
of that?
If there's some sort of material in these specific parts, I have no idea. Let's just
No,
continue
you
on.
scanned for materials substances in the area that could maybe cause this. But
And
you
that might be
detected nothing out of the ordinary.
susceptible to, like, more susceptible to heat or something. I don't know.
I mean, if it was made out of, for example, I don't know, mercury, then I think it might be feasible that it could melt with very little temperature.
Okay.
Can I take a look at the Romulan weapon I confiscated and see if it seems like it would match with that?
Sure,
If
why
like
not?
they were fighting something?
Interesting.
Sure. However, it's going to be difficult to do without inspecting the equipment close up.
Why wouldn't I be able to do that? It's in my boot.
No, I meant the melted equipment, the melted equipment, the partly melted equipment. It's going to be more difficult if you've not examined it close up, like with your focused tricorders.
Right.
That's what I meant. If you just want to take as if this could have caused that, disruptors usually do also have a heat setting, so maybe.
We already know that this weapon does not have a stun setting. Does it seem like it has any setting other than destroy?
It looks like it has a setting for overload and also a heat setting.
Okay.
I'm going to land the shuttle lineman.
Okay.
Yeah. I think now is the time to land. We have a security detail of 4 apparently, so they can keep an eye on things while we examine this.
Mm-hmm. Actually, you've got 6. 2 others stayed at the entrance of the cave when the other 4 went in.
Okay.
So you've got 6.
Sure. Yeah.
Good.
6 security detail.
Great.
On the
Sure.
lookout. Our red shirts
Yeah.
ready to die if necessary for the plot.
Yay!
So, you touch down.
I'm also a red shirt, so
Yes, and you're also ready for the plot.
Yeah.
So, touch down. Do you want to exit?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Okay, doors open. You.
No, I'm gonna stay in there and just like pilot do somersaults and loops.
You exit and reconvene around this area. You wanted to see if this is this done by the disruptors. So go ahead and someone give me an engineering plus reason or insight check with a difficulty of 1, and I will also allow an assist.
Yeah, I think that will be mine.
Sure.
I will do the roll. Right.
all right.
Insight, engineering to not. I will roll. Doink.
Ah,
2.
All right.
0.
Great.
Okay.
Ah, yeah.
What's that 0? It's a
I'm now
18?
done. 18.
Oh,
So, would anyone like to assist?
I mean, I think I'm the worst engineer in the group, so
Go ahead.
This guys, let's do this.
great scientist, bad engineer.
my engineering
I mean,
is 4.
if you want to assist using science instead of engineering, I could see that might work, like thermal dynamics and things like that.
Sure. Then I will assist with science.
Because it doesn't have to be
1
the same.
die.
Good luck.
Roll an
Yeah.
extra.
Ah, it worked.
Nice.
That's an 8. Nice.
And of course the 0 is an 18.
Very nice.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
They always are.
2 more. But I'm counting this as a scene change because you traveled over here. So that would be 5 momentum you're
Yeah,
at.
there would have been a cut.
Yeah, so we've got 5
Oh
momentum.
no, only 5 momentum.
Whatever will we do?
How are we going to get our overflow now?
By getting another crit.
The ship's Sensors.
Critical success.
Well, sensors are 9 and engineering is 2. The infamous storyteller. So, right. You spend some time thinking about this, analyzing it. First of all, it does look like it was partially melted by heat, and around the area of where this equipment is, you can see what looks like some sort of scorch marks in the rock around. Looking around, you can see all around you on the ground are these marks. The disruptor would not have really done this. If a disruptor had been used to do this, it would have been more focused.
Could it have been the small craft's weapon system?
It does not look like it was done by any sort of ship's weapon.
Look for all the equipment so you can find a lens of some sort.
Do you want to look around for a lens?
Yes.
Okay. Let's make it. Okay. Let's make it a difficulty 0 task. Let's just say, since this has to do with situational awareness and things like that, let's say security plus insight. I think that seems reasonable.
Insight, security, okay. There we go. Nope.
Well, it was only difficulty 0 anyway. Oh, and 2 19s!
No.
Look! 2 19s!
Nope.
Oh my god. How many 18s and 19s have we rolled today?
Oh, that's great.
We've got a lot of them apparently.
1, 2, 3. There's a 17. We'll add that to the list too. 4, 5, 6, 17 through 19 rolls.
And not a single complication yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, 3 hours
And
later.
it's only me and you notice it's only me and Dodd that are rolling them.
So, you're going to spend the next significant amount of time searching for a sort of lens in the area. There's nothing obvious. Do you take some of the security with you when you do this?
Yeah.
How many?
2.
2. Okay, sure. If the captain
That's
has nothing to
cool.
say against the first officer doing this. Well, not first officer. I mean the second in the local away mission, like the second under.
Nero's not
I
here.
wish I was.
Because he's the 3rd in command, so he's the 2nd locally here. That's what I meant. So, okay, sure. Meanwhile, what are Doviah and Shiun doing?
Have we checked inside of the small craft yet?
Yes, we had an
No.
extensive scene about it.
Okay.
No, we haven't.
I must have missed that. Right, so probably I might do that. Could do that.
Yeah, phasers and tricorders of course have lenses in them, but what Nero is doing is looking for a sort of lens in the environment that could have been maybe responsible for this, is the way I read that. Not just looking for
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
lens, including the ones on
Some
you.
sort of lens or something better.
Alright. So we don't have any life signs in here, or would have been noted on one of
Yep, it would have been
several
noted.
scans we've already taken.
It would have been noted, yes.
So I think Shiun, Doviah, and 1 security will go inside. I don't want to take any more than that because I want to make sure we have enough to properly keep an eye on the area. outside, since there was hostile activity at some point, or at least harmful activity.
Right.
So yeah, we'll go in.
Great.
Okay. You go to the rear, attempt to open the door, and apparently they've also researched the door locking mechanisms.
Yeah, well, we can use phasers on this.
Okay, if you want to use phases on this, sure. You manage to eventually cut through enough space to
Hey, Ryan.
enter.
Wanna quickly do us a TP?
What?
I was thinking more like phaser through the locking mechanism, but okay.
Oh, well, if you want to do that, sure. That's just the way I was picturing it, because that's usually the way that they do it in Star Trek. But
Yeah,
if you,
but that's silly.
okay, if you want to phase it through the locking
You
mechanism.
go through the point of least resistance, which is the locking
And
mechanism.
it's not visually stunning enough. Anyway, okay, fine.
There's
So-
nothing to look at here.
Oh no, what?
It
Yeah,
can be
that's it.
practical.
Yes, you're right. So, sure.
What do you imagine?
You blow through it, you can open the door. Door opens, looking inside. Everything seems quite orderly. It looks like there's one large space in the back. Looks like there's probably some sort of equipment storage area or something, even though it's mostly empty. And there is another smaller compartment in the front, which has the con as well as other consoles on it.
Can we check for logs in the computer?
If you can access
Like
the
not
computer.
wooden ones, but like...
The
you know.
systems appear to be on essentially sleep mode, so to say. So that there is, so the reactors are not cold, so they're kind of in a warmed up state, but not necessarily active. Computer systems seem to be offline at this point.
Okay. Could Doviah attempt to get them back online?
Sure, if you want to.
Alright, would that be a roll?
Yeah. So it's going to be control plus engineering. Normal difficulty 1, but because of the language issue,
Well,
it's going to increase the difficulty to 2.
I am a manual linguistics focus.
Yeah, you've got the focus, which will apply,
Okay.
but still difficulty 2. Also, I'm going to spend a little bit of threat to increase the complication range.
Also to 2.
Yes, to 2.
Okay. How much momentum do we have?
5.
Still 5. Okay. Could I buy 1 die?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, 1 die has been purchased. I'm rolling 3. I'm rolling 3 now. So, control was engineering. Okay, that's fine. Focus used, yes. Complication range 2. Okay, here we go. That's 2 successes.
Okay.
How many do you need?
Does this... I think...
And a 17.
Ah,
to add
Ah.
lovely.
Wow.
So...
Isn't that his first high one?
Okay.
I mean,
Sure.
I think it's only his second roll, so.
Yeah.
So, you
Well,
managed to activate the computer's systems without tripping any sort of security measures that you are aware of.
okay.
Computers come back online,
Right.
presumably running on auxiliary power.
Okay. Right, so let's say... Right, Captain, I've managed to get the computers back online. I'm gonna check for... Should I check for logs to see what happened to the small craft?
That would be appropriate.
Alright. I do that.
Okay. That's going to be another roll.
What would be the roll?
Same roll. Spending another point of threat to increase the complication range to 2.
Okay.
And in the meantime, I think Shiun's going to be searching for any signs that the external damage came inside the shuttle at any point.
Mm-hmm.
Small craft, whatever.
Sure, yeah. Manual linguistics, does that apply again?
Sure.
Okay. Should I buy another die or not? For this just...
Did we lose or gain momentum on that last one?
I think we lost
We
one.
lost 1 because it was a difficulty 2, and you got 2 successes with 1 momentum spent.
Okay. Sure one.
Alright, thank you.
Down
3
to 3.
dice. Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
I have cups.
Ah!
Okay.
Good thing the purchase was made.
Okay.
So we're up to 5
2
again.
7s and a 1. Haha.
Nice. Wait, 2
Agreed.
7s and you had 2 8s previously.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
8 8, 7 7.
17.
8 8 17.
Right, yeah.
7 7 1.
I'm being
Interesting
very
how
British.
Roll20 does this.
Is maybe one of the developers, or the programmers of Roll20 has been abducted and is trying to sneak code into the
It's all
algorithms.
1 7s and 8s.
Ah.
1 7
Yeah.
8 8 7 7 1.
Mhm. So, I mean, that could be the episode title of the future. So
1 7 8 8 7 7 1.
yes.
That'd be a really weird in joke.
Although there is an TNG episode with a similar title. Anyway, so while you're busy
But
doing
we also
that,
don't have the foresight for that in this.
yes, doing that, Shiun, you are. Is it okay? There are no signs of any sort of damage inside. Everything looks in pristine condition in here. Also, there are no corpses.
Good to know.
It's good.
So, is there
yeah.
anything you would like to do after that while Doviah is still busy and Nero is still busy?
Hmm.
I guess check if there's any like equipment that stands out, equipment or cargo that seems out of place if they came here for more or less the same purpose that we did.
Okay, I need to make a quick note.
Sure.
Right. So it looks like there are just some basic rationing, some basic supplies, so rationing, heating elements, batteries, some breathing masks equipment, things like that. It looks like most of the equipment that was stored in here has been moved out somewhere.
Presumably to that cave,
Yes.
where there was
To
a
the
bunch
cave,
of equipment.
yes. Or as well the partially melted stuff around here as well, maybe.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And any signs of multiple people residing here? Like used living quarters?
So
I don't know how small this small craft is.
about the size of a runabout-ish. If that
means
is
nothing
any
to me.
context.
So we'll move on.
Okay, a bit larger than a normal shuttle. A bit larger. Multiple compartments. So, let's see. It looks like there is space for about maybe for 10 people to rest here, like bunk beds. Additionally, in the front room, there are consoles for 3 people to be using at the same time. So it looks like this is meant for small but larger than 1 crew.
Okay. So yeah, definitely some weird disappearance, most likely.
Okay.
Right.
Meanwhile, actually, let's get to. Sure. Let's do Nero. Well, let's do Doviah first. So
Okay.
you look through. You manage to track down an area of the computer that looks like it's dedicated to storing logs, mission data, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to access it here on the system? Or would you like to download it first onto your tricorder? Or do you not want to link Federation technology with this?
Could I check if there's some sort of security protection or something on it that would detect any interference with that?
Well, if you connect a Federation device with this computer, then it could probably detect it, unless you want to use the tricorder to copy the data without connecting it. So, like for example, with a tricorder, you can connect to you can scan the areas of the computer in great enough detail to be able to transfer an image of that to the tricorder to then later being able to reconstruct from that. But that is going to be more difficult.
I see. So, I could try that.
What do you want to do?
Sure, I'll try to do that. So
What
without linking them, trying to get the data off of the computer.
So you want to create a virtual image of that area of the storage system.
Yeah, I
To
want
then be
to
able to-
attempt to do that.
Okay. That I'm going to make it a difficulty 4 task.
Okay.
It's going to be control plus engineering. But hey, you can try.
I mean, if you're that concerned about connecting anything to
Actually-
the computer system, you can just look at the
On
data
the
and
computer.
keep an audio log as you're doing it.
That's
Throw.
true. Also,
Say, oh, I found this, and that. So one might conclude this, that, and this.
okay.
I found a log saying computer self-destruct. No, that wasn't a command.
Anyway,
always
that's
ask
a
the
good shout. Could I? Well, not shout, but could I perhaps mask the identity of the tricorder to look like it's Romulan. So if it gets entered in the log
You don't know enough about Romulan technology to be able to do that. Yeah.
Okay, I won't try that then. The idea.
I don't think this is that complicated.
Sure, I just do what you said. I'll just look at it on the computer itself and then keep an audio log of the data I find.
You can always ask the pilot when he's finished mucking around outside to help.
So
I just do that instead.
you just want to read it on the computer and then transcribe it, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So judging by what you find, it looks like yes, this is essentially a child ship that has a mothership. Looks like the mothership is the warbird Sela, so Sela, and it appears as though they're on a mission for purely scientific orientation, charting space, and in terms of logs, it's just general things like it starts when they landed, they reported no issues. And it's weird. It looks like it's probably just due to it being Romulan. You're not used to reading Romulan, but some of the information looks like it's a little oddly phrased. Maybe there's some sort of code going on. Not sure. Something a little off about it. It looks like they landed, set up camp outside, and then started their operation. And there's a little note that one of them was particularly looking forward to the Eclipse, and then there's nothing after that.
Okay. One moment. Okay. Right.
Alright.
Sure.
Well, hearing that, since it was being kept on audio log,
yeah.
That was your plan all
would-
along.
yes, I definitely foresaw the desire to react to something immediately. Anyway, so
Yes.
I would like to contact the ship and ask the Baylor, ask Baylor for an estimate of the next Eclipse event.
Okay.
And perhaps when the last one was.
Sure.
Okay, I need to look at my notes. Because I did actually write down this information. I just need to find it.
Did the DM foresight it? I'm such a tease.
There we go. So, okay. Contact the ship, and well, first thing is, you get notified that the Romulan woke up, was in a state of extreme agitation, and had to be what's the word? I can't believe. What's the word? I'm looking for? Sedated. Yes, it had to be sedated.
Mm-hmm. It.
And you request the information. The moon takes about 14 days to orbit the planet, and each eclipse lasts about 12 hours. Actually, 10 hours, sorry. I didn't read that right. It's orbiting quite close, and the gas giant isn't very dense.
Okay, so when's the next eclipse? That is the question I ask.
Next eclipse is in about
2 seconds.
6 hours.
I would advise that we all vacate the planet before the next eclipse for safety purposes and monitor from the Pathos.
I agree.
If there's anything unusual that happens during that time, we should be able to detect it on scans.
Yes.
As long as there's any sort of consistency in this game. So, Nero, you finish.
Yep.
I don't know why that light is blinking sometimes. Anyway, you finish. You don't find any sort of lenses, but you do find a lot of little caves, tunnels going into the rock. And most of them only about maybe 1 or 2 feet wide. But you find so many of them. And they continue down.
Yeah. I've seen pitch black, so yeah. I don't want to be here.
It is sounding very pitch black-esque.
So I don't want to be here, so yeah.
I've seen that movie way too many times.
Hold on.
Not sure.
Anyway, right. So yeah, I report my findings to the captain. Yeah. Sorry,
Alright.
I forgot what characters were there.
Yes.
Yeah, captain.
Okay, you report
Right.
the captain.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a whole load of holes in the ground.
They
and
look
I don't see
natural,
any
by the way.
animal.
They look natural.
Yeah. And little holes. I don't. There's no sign of wildlife, so. They might come out at night. And do we want to be here?
No. If something comes to the surface during the eclipse, we should be able to sense it from the ship.
Ships?
Yes, it is occurring within the next 6 hours.
Yes.
So
Okay.
we should wrap up our investigation of the small craft and make our way back.
Okay. Do you need me to do anything?
Yes, please investigate the caves.
Off you go now. No.
Take scans of the area for documentation purposes,
Okie dokie.
but should be prepared to head back within the next 2 hours.
Okie dokie. I'll go and do that.
Right. So, you're doing that. What's Doviah doing?
Have we... Has the Federation encountered this type of Romulan small craft before?
We've barely been in contact with any Romulan craft at all.
Okay.
So,
So no?
As far
Yes,
as you
that's a
know,
no.
no.
Okay. So...
we barely recognized it as being likely Romulan in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So.
Right, so we've already scanned it, so I'm not sure if any...
You've done basic scans of it. If you want to spend the next couple of hours getting more detailed information about the ship's systems, you can do that.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what I do then.
Okay, good. Now, Shiun. What is she up to?
I think Shun's going to check what equipment is intact and see if any of them have stored data that can be salvaged,
Okay.
given the damage that was sustained.
That is a good thing. So, one moment, I need to quickly find a section in my notes. There we go. So, and you can see that I actually did pull up my notes because it illuminated my face. Anyway.
Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, so if I pull it up, it illuminates my face. Anyway, so let's do engineering plus. I think any of control, insight, or reason would work. I'm going to set the difficulty to 1. Complication range 1. We've got 5 momentum still, by the way.
I'd like to buy a die.
Sure.
I don't like my rolls today.
Yeah. Or me either.
Well, one of them was
Yeah.
great. From 9:24 p.m. That's BST.
Yep. Yeah, but you always get one good roll, and then the rest are just like...
My last one was also quite nice.
Oh,
that
yeah.
as well. Yes, one good roll.
483.
I think I just cursed it now, and I...
Wow.
If that had been 4816, it would have surprised me.
Why?
I think I may have just cursed
One,
it now.
because of the multiples thing, but also because
Yeah.
I doubt that 16 would be a success.
Yes, it would definitely not be.
So, right, you got 2, so we're at maximum momentum.
Yay!
It looks
Great.
like the... Okay, you know about the equipment inside. The equipment inside looks like it hasn't been used at all. The equipment outside that's partially melted, it looks like more surveying equipment. Some of it looks like it's designed to measure mineral densities in the area. Others designed to measure the potential aquifers or the stability of the land, things like that, where the because some of it looks like they are definitely what's the word I'm looking for? The earthquake sensors. I forget the name. Seismic
activity detector.
Yeah, seismic detectors.
Seismic activity detector. Yes.
Basically, stuff that would be needed for surveying, and you do find what looks like remnants of tents around, shreds of fabric, bars. Looks like maybe tents at some point as well. You're not quite sure what the tents were used for.
Quite difficult to tell at this stage.
It's just some tents.
Oh no.
If you want to get some data from them, you said?
Yes.
There's nothing. Some of them are intact enough to get data from. There is nothing out of the ordinary, nothing new. You gain more information about those specific things that the equipment was designed to detect here. So you know that there is a massive underground water reservoir. For example, you know about the compressed gas pockets in the rock around and the network of caverns. There's also quite a few geysers, but you've already seen some of them. Outside of that, there's nothing really much to be learned, unless you're looking for something specific.
Right. Well, I copy the data in any case.
Sure.
Right.
So, now, all of that gets done. So, Doviah's got more detailed scans of the ship systems, you've got that data, and
Do you have to roll for that? Or?
No, no. With enough time, you can do that. And Nero, you were taking detailed scans of the area, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that all gets done within some amount of hours, and you wanted to return to the ship using the 2 shuttles that have brought you down here, yes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And you're going to leave the Romulan ship where it is?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We won't attempt to pilot it off the moon.
Okay.
That seems unnecessarily strenuous.
Yes.
Yeah, such hard work getting this thing all the way to orbit.
Pulling all the levers.
No, hard work
Yeah.
actually operating it,
You're right.
since it apparently is designed for more than one person to operate, and most of us know nothing about the Romulan language.
Mm-hmm. So,
No.
what?
Neo resists. Neo resists.
Okay.
He resists.
Sure.
Even though he could pilot it.
But you do know that resistance is futile.
Ah.
So, it's a TNG reference. So,
It's not going anywhere.
you take the 2 shuttles back to orbit. There's the Pathos. Beautiful sight, as always. So you approach the tractor beams, grab the shuttles, moving in, get turned around on the turntable. Shuttle bay doors close, gets pressurized, and you exit. I'm assuming you will have arranged for all the readings you've taken to be transferred to the ship's main computer banks.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so as you get to the airlock, you can see that Westacre is there waiting for you. As everyone says, "Welcome aboard, Captain. How was your trip?"
Intriguing, but more hazardous than we were prepared to face. So we will be returning with more information and more individuals prepared to handle the situation. And more specific equipment.
Right. Things have been relatively quiet up here. No sign of any cloaked ship or anything like that, except for sickbay. The guest made quite the ruckus when he first woke up. As far as I know, he's still unconscious. However, sickbay could bring him back to consciousness when you want to interview him.
Sooner rather than later, I believe, would be the way to go. Do tell Baylor to be prepared to be taking detailed scans of planetary activity when the eclipse begins.
Very well. I will get back to the bridge then. And so he does. So if you're going to do that, first of all, who do you want to be there with you? And secondly, what are Doviah and Nero doing if they're not in this scene? Which they might be, but those are the two things I want to hear.
Doviah should definitely be there.
Makes sense.
Captain, if I'm not needed, I will go and write my report and go back to the bridge, if that's okay with you.
Very well then. You are dismissed.
Go.
Okay.
And then
Sure.
I go and do.
Probably take a couple of our security detail with us as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, is there already security in the room?
Standard.
There probably is at least one security in there, but
standard procedure would be that there were at least 2 security guards already posted there.
Yes.
But sure.
Okay, better safe than sorry.
Yes.
So yeah, is it sick bay or where? Where are we meeting
That's
him
sick
for the
bay.
interview? Okay.
Unless you want to have the interview somewhere else.
No.
No.
Not the brig.
Right.
Okay.
You get to sickbay. As you enter, you can see there's a few medical staff around. You hear that quite iconic beeping of the med bed as it's monitoring the Romulan's vital signs.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just look up the name. Chief Medical Officer Ella Brasking, of course. Of course. So she's there. As you enter, actually, need to. There we go. As you enter, she comes over to you and says, "Captain, I trust that you've heard about the state of our guest."
Yes. It is not entirely surprising that a Romulan waking up on a Federation vessel might be agitated, especially after being rendered unconscious so suddenly. However, we do need information.
Right. I'm not even sure that he recognized being on a Starfleet vessel. He didn't appear as though he was in a very stable state of mind.
I see.
I can wake him
Given
up.
some of what I suspect may have happened on the planet, that is not entirely surprising either. But we will not know until we can get answers.
Right. I can wake him up anytime you want.
Now would be ideal.
At this point, one of the security is assorted and says, "Captain, do we need restraints?"
Yes.
Okay. They fasten those.
Especially for someone who is apparently mentally unstable. We don't want them responding rashly.
So, They get those black bands. It's those straps and strap them down to the med bed. I don't know why do I always want to say med bed. It's med bed.
The two
I don't
E's.
know.
I have no idea. So everything gets prepared and gets injected with a hypo spray. You can see a few moments pass and he slowly comes around. He's, by the way, still wearing his uniform, except for the helmet, of course. The helmet's been removed. Slowly comes around. It looks like he's kind of focusing it. So it says, where? What? Explain. Where am I?
You are currently aboard the USS Pathos. We discovered you alone on the moon and were concerned, even though you were seemingly unharmed, by the lack of any additional Romulans in the area.
No one else survived?
We detected nobody.
They didn't make it. Captain, why am I restrained?
Because you are a Romulan and we still are not entirely certain of your intentions.
Says, he kind of looks around, kind of straining against the restraints. Of course, the restraints hold fast. And I thank you for taking me off the planet. Although I assure you, help is on the way.
Yes, our analysis of your vessel did seem to indicate that a larger vessel would be in the area.
Yes. Also,
However, given some of the log data, we decided to vacate the moon before the eclipse, as that was the last notable event in the logs before they ceased.
Yes. The eclipse, yes. Yes, that's when it started. They came, so many. We didn't know what they were. They're so bright. I managed to save myself. The others were going for the ship. You say they did not make it.
we haven't detected any bodies anywhere, so we're not sure of their whereabouts. They might still be alive.
There were no signs of bodies, but there was significant damage in the area immediately surrounding the small craft, and there were small tunnels nearby that the remains could have been dragged into, if they were not completely destroyed.
Yes. What is your plan for me?
Well, since there is no reason to think there's any ill will between us, I believe we will continue with our work, and when your ship returns, we can transport you.
You are generous. But I am curious. What is a Starfleet vessel doing this far out?
It's uncharted space. We have to... Well, find out what's here.
The long-range sensors indicated that this moon had an unusually dense atmosphere, and we were not too far from this area on patrols. So we were sent further out to investigate.
Yes.
Kind of looks at you and is gonna make a roll. Security plus insight.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Actually, I need to bring up the... one moment. I need the thing. There we go. Not too bad. Okay, that's one success.
Yes, that's 16.
So, this is going to be, so this is going to be a competed roll. So for you it is going to be security plus presence, or command plus presence, I'm going to say.
Command presence, then. But what exactly am I rolling for?
This is to convince him of your truthfulness.
Okay. Sure. I have persuasion.
That applies, of course.
Great.
And you know what? We have 6 momentum. I'll buy a die.
Yeah, why not? We'll allow you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Well.
Well, that's interesting.
Good thing you bought that die.
We had 2 18s, then we had 2 19s, and now we've got 2 20s.
It just had to happen. It just had to happen.
Yep.
Is that like 9 rolls between 17 and 20 now?
Okay.
Could I assist?
I mean...
I don't think the
Not really,
assist is the
in this
problem.
Okay.
The roll,
So,
the successes are not really the problem. It's the complications that are the problem.
one of those...
There's not really any getting rid
Yeah.
of those.
One of those I'm going to turn into threat, because I did use a little bit earlier.
Okay.
Yes, the infamous storyteller, doing all of that while searching for a needle in a hay pin. And yes, I did mean to say that.
Yes, you've said that before.
So,
I can't remember why.
you mean that I wanted to say something, or that specific thing?
That specific thing.
So, kind of, there's a moment. So after you say that, what your mission is, here, there's a moment it kind of looks at you and you kind of make eye contact. And says, right. Doesn't matter anyway. I take it I'm confined to this bed until I can be transferred?
Yes.
What
For
ab-
security purposes.
What about our ship? The lander?
Aside from the locking mechanism, which was damaged when we entered, it is perfectly serviceable,
Intact.
although the power was not running, and we did not feel confident in our ability to transport it. The others on your ship should be able to recover it easily when they arrive.
Right. Good. I feel a little faint. I should get some rest. At this point, Brass King steps and says, yes, I was just about to recommend that myself.
All right.
Very well then. I wish you a productive rest.
As do I.
Okay. So,
And we head out.
right. Now, does anyone want to do anything more before the eclipse rolls around?
Nope, I was either
I don't think so.
Go to
I
the forward
assume
observation lounge.
Science Division. I assume Science Division is, you know,
Keeping an eye on
compiling
things?
the data that we collected,
Yeah. yeah.
and they can handle that. So I think Captain just returns to the bridge.
Mm-hmm. Before, right before the... You would be on the bridge, right? There's no observation lounge, right?
I think anything one could see from an observation lounge could be more clearly seen from the bridge, which will be
Okay.
actively taking scans.
Except,
Yeah.
oh, the moon is dark now.
Sure, bridge it is then. Just head to the bridge.
Okay. The infamous tracker, no replicators. Replicators are not a thing in the TOS era yet. So you can't have a focus in transporters and replicators, unfortunately.
Unless you're a character from the future,
There
in
are,
which case those
there,
focus
there
won't
are
be that
there are nutrient synthesizers, which are
useful.
kind of like that. They take base thing, but yeah, you know that. Yeah, just tell me which ones you want to replace, and I'll update the character sheet as well, because you would have had enough mana mounts and things to do that. So with the character, sure, go ahead. Right. So
Right.
nobody wants to do anything before this starts. Yes.
Nope.
To
Sure.
confirm.
Sure. Fine. Yeah.
Dodd, do you have you have nothing you want to do before?
I already
Okay.
said what I was doing.
Yeah. Would you remind me? I was distracted. Sorry.
Just going back to the bridge, letting Science Division take care of all the
Yeah, yeah.
data.
I did get that. I just wasn't sure if I
Yes.
missed a bit after that.
Okay.
So,
right.
good. You do that. You all meet back up on the bridge as the eclipse is about to begin. I can already sense the new section in your notes.
Well, maybe.
So, got it on screen. The brilliant crescent of purple behind the moon. Sensors, everything's running. And since this is such a long period of time, I'm not going to make you roll unless you want specific information about anything that's going on. But the basics you're just going to get for free. So, eclipse begins. The moon is shrouded in darkness. Jibailer's monitoring. There's nothing to report yet. Good, maybe hour or so passes. Till he says, Captain, I'm starting to detect life signs on the surface. Seems I'm having a difficult time ascertaining the individual characteristics. It seems quite primitive, small, less than a meter in diameter. There are thousands of them, more, even more, appearing all over the moon.
Essentially a nocturnal species on a moon which has no night, only an eclipse cycle. So they would live deep underground until the light is blocked.
Out of character, what do you mean by no night?
Well, I guess there would be a dark side, but anyway.
Okay, sure. Yes. This is fascinating. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing. They just seem to be appearing all over the surface. Although there are areas of higher density than others.
Well, since there are no structures per se, it could be perhaps something along the lines of a mating cycle.
Perhaps.
Of course, it would be difficult to discern from this distance, but
I'll keep monitoring this. I'll update you if there are any further developments.
very well.
I should write a paper on this, he says as he's focusing back on his sensors.
Right.
Somewhat back to normal.
Do we see the moon lighting is the moon, right?
The moon, yes,
So-
what about the moon?
Is it a little bit brighter, or is it just literally dark?
The moon...
It's a 12-hour eclipse.
Yeah, the moon, 10-hour eclipse. 12 was, I misread it as 12. It's 10 hours.
Okay, let me
Is
go
there
back to my
any-
notes and make sure that is what I wrote. Yes, 10 hours.
Is there any changes to the moons? Like,
You mean the
is it
luminosity?
brighter? Yeah, of the moon.
At the moment, no. The moon is dark.
Or changes in the atmosphere? Temperature? Anything?
The temperature has significantly dropped. It is still well above freezing, but there's no change in the atmosphere. And yeah.
And was it... I would assume that it would be cooler underground as well, right?
Well, when you entered the caverns, the temperature was colder than outside, yes. However, the further down you went, the warmer it got, but still cooler than outside.
Couch with a spotlight. Nah, it's a model I made in Blender. From a different campaign, which
Are there any significant differences in our readings between readings of the portions of the moon that were dark and the overall makeup during the eclipse?
So, do you mean in terms of the... Sorry, I was a bit distracted because it didn't... A thing didn't work right because of the update. Sorry, could you repeat that last bit?
Just basically, if we compare the readings that we have now to readings that we took of the moon when our sensors were taking readings of a darker portion of it, is there a significant difference that would explain why they would come out during the eclipse but not when their part of the moon is dark?
So the overall temperature is dropping and the moon is spinning. So the moon itself has about a... Let's see. What would it be? If that is... The moon itself has... oh, that's why I got it confused. Yeah, the moon itself has a 12-hour day-night cycle. And as time's passing, of course, the parts that would otherwise come into sunlight again are now remaining cool during the eclipse. Other than that, there is no real difference.
So it'll be would it be temperature difference?
Maybe that. Maybe radiation. Who knows?
Well, we know they're right, so it could be any sort of weird trigger. We don't know what they're made of. Only that they can emit large portions of heat.
So, does anyone want to do anything, or should we let this continue to run until more interesting stuff happens?
I mean, I can't imagine what we would do. I mean, like, the only way to get more detailed information would be to go down, and that's just an unnecessary risk. Considering how many there are, and how little we know about them.
You could send your guest down to investigate.
No.
Okay, so then let's just carry on.
I don't know, maybe we could try, like, beaming a probe onto the surface. Well, we can't beam, but we can send a probe down and try and get closer readings.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can beam, it's just going to be a bit more tricky.
Well, if we mess up our probe when we beam it down, I'm not sure what we're gonna do. Let's try and beam it, just so that we're not sending it on a crash course with the planet and it can actually get better readings.
Okay, so you do want to beam it. You do want to try to beam it, yes?
I'd like to try to beam it.
Okay. So, it's a job for Keithran, who's totally not preoccupied with other stuff.
Nope.
Okay. So,
Not messing with plant Vulcans, who are then not plant Vulcans, and now salt vampire Vulcans.
so this is going to be... So, okay. Base difficulty would be 1 because it's from a transporter pad. I'm assuming you take the probe to the transporter pad to make it easier.
Yes.
So that would be from a transporter pad location to a non-transporter pad, which would be difficulty 1. Then, because of... Yeah, because of the magnetic field, that would increase the difficulty to 2. And it would also increase the complication range. So we've got a complication range of 3 and a difficulty of 2. It's going to be his control plus engineering, which is 15. Would you like him to buy dice?
We have 5 momentum?
We have 4.
4. Yeah, sure. Add a die.
Why not?
Alright.
Want that scan data.
Makes sense.
Ah, right. It's difficult to read the font in Roll 20. Anyway, so let's see, what does he have?
I don't know what their talents are, but if talents apply, use talent.
Yeah, not really. Not really.
Okay.
So, here we go.
Alright.
Ah,
Sure.
nice.
Okay.
What's that roll?
The ship also assists, of course. Has
So
to.
we saw the 2 roll.
Yes.
That is strange.
Yeah.
So,
14,
who
5.
would like to roll for the ship? This is going to
Well-
be sensors plus engineering.
I've rolled out this session. So if anyone else
Yeah,
wants.
but you roll better than what we do. We roll absolutely pants, so...
I also sometimes do. If anyone wants to do it, sure.
Well, why not? Why
Okay.
not?
And actually, that would reduce the difficulty by 1 because of the advanced sensor suites as well.
Was it sensors plus...
Engineering.
Mm-hmm. 1,
No, complication range is 3.
Was it? Oh, I'll do it again then.
Yeah,
Complication
roll
range is
again.
different. Oh, that would make complication. Ugh.
Yeah,
Is
well,
it
you
3,
can-
yeah?
Yeah.
Communication range 3. Right. Clunk. 1.
Ah. Okay. So that brings us up to maximum
Nice.
momentum.
Do it,
Congratulations.
Right.
Great.
The probe gets
Yay.
beamed down. Successfully, I might add. And you start getting telemetry.
Ooh. Telemetry.
Now,
If we're going to be getting a lot of information, this might be a good cutoff point.
yeah, I was thinking about that as well. I had another cliffhanger planned, but we've not quite reached it, so yeah, I think it's probably a good idea if we end here.
We might just about get there next time.
You mean the other cliffhanger?
Yeah.
We've been going over lately, so probably.
Yeah, true.
avoid doing that again.
Yeah.
But hey, everything seems to have worked fine with the stream so far, from my point of view.
Great.
That's
Yay, I even said the whole thing.
What about one bit of info?
Yes.
Just
Just one word.
for done. Okay.
Dun,
No.
dun.
Sure. I'll give it
Ah.
one little bit.
It's really a bomb.
No, but it lands an area. Lots of these creatures emerge from these holes and flop down onto the ground around, and they do not seem to glow at all. However, they do appear shiny in places. Dun dun dun! There we go. That's one bit of information.
Okay.
Happy, the infamous storyteller?
Shiny
So if
sword
they're-
vampires.
If they're excessively reflective, then it's possible that whatever lights that the Romulans were producing were making them seem a lot brighter than they were.
Possible, yes. Like if they had like not spotlights.
Lasers.
No.
Floodlights.
No, like with the stand. I don't know what they're
Tripod
called.
lights?
Yeah, like lights like that. If they had like those around, then maybe that's that. Then, yeah, that sounds feasible.
Maybe they're incandescent, like some undersea creatures, or these ugly return cars. So, maybe we'll just have to wait and see. Or listen, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
So, I will point out there were some places where things could have gone terribly wrong, but they didn't. And so, I feel that this part of the episode, the stream, was quite productive. What do you think?
Well, yes.
I think so.
Took a while to get information, but we were moving at a steady click.
Yes.
Yes. Well, that's strange. Why the lighting change?
What do you
Right
mean?
here. My face was much more orange, much brighter.
No, you're right. I don't know what happened.
Strange. I don't know.
Alright, so with that, thank you all very much for watching. The stream will, of course, be archived on YouTube as usual. And if you want to have a look this time, with this thumbnail, you're going to get a much more high-res view of the moon and the gas giant, if you're at all interested in that. It took a while to make that, so anyway.
There's the link of the car he meant, like the paint thing.
Yeah.
I see.
So, see you all then.
Okay.
So thank you all very much for coming. Chat, of course, you're such an important part of this, and it means a lot that you're here consistently. So thank you. And
Indeed.
Roomspath.
Thanks and bye. Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed, Rosebar.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Mhm.